two gas companies, they had to move because of the hazardous potential being that close to housing. I don't know how much powder is gonna be stored there. It's minimum, that's fine, I believe you can do that under M1. The other concern I have is nothing's ever been said also about the gas oil storage there. The law says you have to have a berm or an enclosure. In case one of those tanks should rupture, you have to hold the contents in place, or you may get what they call a river of fire, which could mean a valley of fire. We've not addressed that, and it's something you do have to address. When you have that combination, and I don't know how much powder is going to be stored there, let alone ammunition, that draws a little attention to the project. I saw a planning board turn down a cow ranch for a simple storage, which would have enhanced this community. And now I have a major concern because there are some safety issues here that haven't been addressed. That's all I have at this time. Thank you.
Just one other comment, if I could, please. Yeah, just, Lily requested information in depth on this. I can tell you that the conversation I've had with the potential vendor is it's minimal amount of power that's going to be stored there. He has a different location where he will store the power, but the voting facility would take place there, which I can tell you is all indoors. I'm happy to provide other information for you if it's necessary. I don't have an issue, don't have a quorum today anyway. So if there's something else that I can clarify to help you, I'm really happy to do it. But I wasn't under the understanding that it was required. So just let me know.
Okay, so in lieu of any issues as far as fire and anything else, so they know how to act. We need more information.
I'll make a motion to table this.
And I would go ahead and second that.
Okay, we have a motion to table from Carol and Leah seconds. Table this in lieu of more information as far as exactly what kind of is going to be going on in this location. So,
John, you also want to put on there that we don't have a quorum for that either, for this vote for tonight,
Yeah.
so.
Well, since our attorney is saying we need to table it,
Yeah, I know, but that has to be,
he's gonna say that anyway.
so I know we're tabling for the more information, but we're also tabling because there's
yeah,
not a quorum.
because of it. Yeah, two reasons for tabling this. We don't have a quorum and we need more information, so we shall leave it at that. Do we need to vote on this?
I think because we don't have a quorum.
We don't have a quorum.
Quorum.
we can't vote.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to vote on it. It was just from advice of council.
Okay, thank you. Okay. We go on to item 3, public hearing proposed application reclassification of property zoning. Applicant is requesting property to be changed from C2, general commercial district, to R250 residential district. Property address and or general location is 1012 East Alton Street, Lot 4, West 1.5, Block 42, East Ely Town Site, Ely, Nevada. Accessory parcel number is 002-06702. The applicants are Harry L. Durand and Barbara Ruth Campbell. We have public commentary on that.
I also have a letter from Brad Simpson on that to read into record. Says Barbara Campbell and Harry Durand have requested a change in the zoning for the house at 1012 Altman Street. The property is being used as a residence with a renter. The owner are planning to sell the property, which will be more difficult with it zoned commercial. I support the request for the change of the zoning for a couple of reasons. One, as commercial property, there is no parking except for street parking on Altman and one space at the rear of the house. And the second being the needs of this community for having homes that will sell is getting desperate. This is a nice house and will be a nice addition to the inventory of homes available on the market.
Was it used as a commercial business at one time?
It's always been
It's
residential.
always been residential, it's not been used, but it is zoned commercial.
And there was actually a house right next to it, which is included in your packets, that was rezoned several years ago. That property was rezoned as well from commercial to residential.
And I don't understand that because the back of my brain from years ago, doing stuff. Once it was converted to commercial because of the location, it could not be reverted back to residential if it was actually used as commercial, as a commercial building.
But it's never been a commercial building, it's always been residential.
That one hasn't, but you were talking about the other one.
The other one was also residential.
But was it
Always
used-
I think it was under the same designation, it's just, I think they probably came into the same problems as these people are coming with, is that you couldn't sell it because it was listed as commercial. There's a lot of more regulations that have to go along with it in selling it. So, you know, I read over this is, I mean, they've had my support on this, and I don't have any questions at all.
It's a matter of them being able to get an appraisal, and an appraisal on a commercial is, starts at like $1,300 or higher, and an appraisal on residential is around $5,000. So,
Yeah, the other concern I have is because it's, there's one house or two houses between it and the new marijuana place. Is there an issue with that?
so you get residential on both sides, and there's the only one that's on commercial, so.
We might check for more public comments, since we're
Yeah.
still in public comment.
Yeah, is there any public comment on this? George?
Thank you, sir. Years ago, when there wasn't much commercial property available, the zoning board at that time made a lot of the homes, property along Altman Avenue F, commercial. The house on the corner was home, the law office of Harry Watson, used to be a judge. Then he went into private practice. After they went, I think Carol's Country Corner, Carol Beeger had a business there, bed and breakfast, some other things. She sold it, and of course, when she sold it, you had other people coming in that didn't have the need for the commercial zoning, and of course, in order with the new financing, you have to have the zoning match what you plan on doing. I support this item. My concern is it's only 4,000 square feet. I've got a couple of pieces of property that are under 5,000. One is 44, the other is 36, and I can't use it. And I don't want to be treated any differently. I'd like to see these people use theirs, but if I can't use mine, we have a problem.
Yeah, because, yeah, I
Okay.
understand.
We have to be consistent. I'm not against anybody, but I'm not just gonna pull weeds, pay taxes, and be a happy camper. I'm not very happy right now, but I don't want to put these people off. I want to make sure that we understand if we have rules and regulations in regards to zoning and minimum lot size, and you won't allow a grandfather in for me, it works the same for everybody else. Thank you.
Thank you, George.
I make a motion to approve.
We need to-
So we're
We're having more
gonna move
discussion.
into,
I think we open the next item.
we're gonna open up for
Oh, that's right.
approval, possible action for reclassification of property zoning, application requested, property is changed from C2, general commercial district to R250, residential district, property address, under general location, 1012 East Alpha Street, Lot 4, the west half lot of Lot 5, Lot 42, Ely City Township, Ely, Nevada, assessor parcel 002-06702. Applicants are Harry L. Duran and Barbara Ruth Campbell. And do we have any discussion or motions?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. Jason made a motion to approve. Andy seconds. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes unanimously. Okay, discussion only. Item B, regarding building codes within the city of Ely, White Pine County. discussion?
I have something that was brought up to me. I tried to go around to a couple of the, I guess contractors. And one did bring up, and he wasn't 100% sure of this, and so I unfortunately didn't get out to Brad to reach out to him, but one of the things that he had realized was that sometimes there is some difficulties with the connection fees, like as far as connecting from the city water to the residential area, and that sometimes that can be very cost prohibitive for some individuals, and that was kind of something that's kind of turned people down in some respects. I know nothing about it. I really wanted to reach out to Brad and talk to him a little bit more about that. I just wanted to throw that out there, that was the one thing that I've talked to several contractors now about that. And so that's just one thing that I wanted to just throw out there and make people aware. See if it is an issue, if it's a concern that we have, if it's something that we need to address. Is that just the first stumbling block and the rest just get worse? Or, you know what I'm saying? Is that it? And that's all I just felt like it was important for us to check in on that.
So Brad, I mean, does that seem to be a concern on some people's parts with, when they come in for the hookup fees? And I mean, I'm not sure how that's structured. Can you give us a little bit of background of, is there different hookup fees for different?
Between residential and commercial there is.
Okay.
Okay.
And what approximately are these fees, just so I?
Residential, it's a flat rate. In the city, it's $1,750. Now, a lot of people are gonna say that's way too expensive, but dig a well.
Yeah,
And then maintain it for 50 years.
Yeah.
right.
When you hook up to that, once you hook up to the city water and sewer, you're hooked up for life. And everything that's outside your property is maintained by somebody else.
Yeah.
So actually, I can tell you from experience, this is very, very cheap. I can tell you that when they did what's now the La Quinta, originally was the Holiday Inn, the owners of the now the La Quinta came to me. They went to the city council and wanted to, I don't know, have a way that it was turned down. And they came up to me as they were walking out the door. I'll give you an example. They're from Utah. And at that time, I want to say their fees were around $40,000. Okay, now that sounds like a lot of money, right? They told me, you guys are way too cheap. Which we are. We are. By comparison, we're very, very cheap. I've looked at other Elko, I've looked at Winnemucca, I've looked at other places where you have municipal water systems. We're very cheap.
I mean, $1,700.
To me, 1,700 seems very.
If you're looking at it, house is going for $250,000 or so for a new house, I think that's.
Right. That's for a 3/4 inch water line, which is standard for a single family dwelling. If you choose to go larger, then of course that fee goes up. But for a 3/4 inch water line for residential use, it's $1,750. And if you go to the county where it's county fed, or I should say city fed in the county, it's double that, exactly double that.
Yeah, it seems reasonable to me. Now,
And
is that
the
something
sewer line is- the
they
sewer's the
have to
same way.
pay up, right all up at front, or do they, before connection can take place? But you can per se build a building on it, just not connect it.
No, you can't.
Okay, how does that work?
Well, if you try to build in and you don't have water and sewer on it, now it's classified basically as an unsafe structure because it's unsanitary.
I guess what I'm getting at is while they're building it, it can be put into their loans or whatever.
Well, that's really not the process you want to take because it could be turned down.
Okay.
See, there's an application that they fill out for service.
Correct.
I've never seen one turned down, but it is, I mean,
Sure.
stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
So you could be turned down. For what reason, I can't think of one off the top of my
And
head.
what, just for the heck of it, what is sewer running for a connection for residential? Same price, right?
Same,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
And then what they do in commercial is they use fixture units. Anything over above 20 fixture units, then there's, and I don't know the exact dollar amount, I'd have to look it up, but then you use fixture units to calculate what the fee is gonna be. So like the Holiday Inn that we just built, I don't remember what the connection stuff were, but that's based on the fixture units that are inside that.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the only thing I did mention. I talked to a bunch of other contractors, and I will say that, kudos to you, like, most of the contractors have a good rapport with you. They say it's a seamless process for, as far as that process goes, so I just felt like it was kind of our due diligence to reach out, and I feel like it's a good one, so I think it's a good report, so thank you, Brad.
I appreciate you coming with that. I've made an open invitation that for anybody to contact me, and I can bring the same kind of issues to this, because that's what I want this to do, is to hush out all the rumors and the speculations and all that other stuff.
I can tell you, these rates have not changed since 2007.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you see power and stuff starting to go up and costs of maintaining your infrastructure and stuff, and this is basically, it's a surcharge basically. It's a one-time fee
Right.
that you pay.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you for the clarification. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Brad.
So I haven't had anybody else come to me at all on any matters, so, I mean, I think that this should be an ongoing an issue that we need to keep bringing up, and just in case board member hears of something that's concerned, we can keep bringing that up.
I agree.
Have input from George?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I didn't know we were going to talk about this, but I'm glad you did bring it up. The fees haven't changed since I was mayor, 2005, 2007. We had a builder north of McGill, north of Beatty, Connect property, north of Sahara Motors, 150, 160 acres. Those folks wanted to come in and they applied for a Wilson of 50 homes. Now, whether they built or not, you would have had close to 100,000, 200,000 in the bank. The project was killed because of local politics, and that needs to stop. They were too far out, they couldn't annex to the community, but unfortunately the council at that time said, you either annex or you walk, and they walked. The property up at La Quinta, we were supposed to get Holiday Inn and a Buffalo, I won't say Buffalo Wings, but it's a sports bar. They paid for their Wilson and a certain amount of connections. When that fell through and the La Quinta people picked up, they wanted to build additional units because the Buffalo people decided that this was not a good place for their sports bar. They asked for credit for what they paid for the initial connection fee, and the other connections, they didn't get it and they got stiffed. They left a big, bad taste in their mouth. We need to stop that too. If someone pays you up front, and at least give them credit, and if they expand on top of that, then you charge them. We have to be consistent. That's part of the problem we have in this community. We're not consistent.
Well, George, I don't know any of those back, I mean, thank you for bringing all that up, but I mean, as far as the board goes, I think that that's our main goal, is to try to keep things more consistent.
Yeah,
So-
and that's what I would hope we would do,
So-
because that's why we're in the dilemma we are today.
Okay.
The fees are not the problem. The fees were increased when the subdivision out on the highway went in. I can't remember what it was called. Pat Dory put it in. But they were doubled at that point. But after that, nothing else has changed. Thank you.
All right.
If I could just say one thing to George, just one more thing.
One second.
George talking about the La Quinta. The La Quinta, there's two different owners. When it was a Holiday Inn, it was one owner. They went bankrupt. Okay, they lost their money in 2008, when a lot of people lost their money with the recession. There was another group that came in and purchased it, changed the name of it. It was a Holiday Inn Express, and changed it to La Quinta. Okay. They wanted, when she's talking about credit, somebody else had paid for the will service. It had sat for approximately 2, maybe 3 years. Then they came in. They asked if they could basically have it for free. No, you can't. Somebody else paid for that. They did not pay for that. I want to clarify with George. George is making it sound like it's the same people. It's not. Two different organizations.
The fee was paid.
Completely different organizations. So that's why there was they charged them the same amount as the other group. But it was two groups.
Okay.
They came in. Okay?
Anything else? Okay, outstanding, Ernie, public comment at all, Ernie?
I'm sorry, I really haven't been able to attend the meetings. I represent the city as the advisor for the planning commission. And I haven't been able to attend, of course, because of illness. But I'm trying to get back active and doing the right thing. But at this time, I'd like to make a little bit of a motion, a suggestion, I should say, to the planning commission that we've had for years going. And that is, we have a lot of empty buildings within our community. We don't have any new industry or businesses coming to town. There is a federal grant that can be administered right here within our community, that they have the availability. What we need to do is find out, and I'm gonna ask you to talk to your friends, neighbors, family, whoever, and what kind of businesses do we really need in this town that we don't have? As people have made, suggested to me, we don't have a jewelry store. If you want to buy your girlfriend a diamond ring to get engaged, you gotta go out of town. You want to buy a good pair of shoes, something else besides cowboy boots, you gotta go out of town. You want clothes, you gotta go out of town. We have a lot that we're suffering for that always was here before. It's just a matter of going out and soliciting businesses to come to this town. And they could be partially financed by federal grants and state grants to open up a business. And so I want to offer a challenge to the planning commission. Like I say, talk to your neighbors, your family, your friends, whomever. Find out what we're missing. Do we have a cleaning shop? No, you gotta send it out of town to get your coat in. Do we have a laundry? No, we have a laundromat, but that's not the same thing as a laundry. There's many items that we're missing in this community in this time, and they're available if we go seek them. Now, I'm just asking if you can think about it, see what you can do, and then let's start a program to see what we can do to make this a better community than what we have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ernie. No other public comments, we will move on to item C. Schedule of possible action, approval of minutes from Regional Planning Commission held on August 19th, 2020. That's mine's through, and nothing's jumped out at me, so. What you got?
Andy said he'd move to approve, I'll second that,
Okay.
unless Carol has anything that she
To
wants.
approve.
She's already got what I found. One letter, she had to, has to cross out.
On
Nothing.
page 3, we changed one to on. To go.
Okay, good catch.
With that change, we had a motion to approve and a second from Jason. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. Public comment?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I left off in regards to the sidewalk at Curaleaf not being ADA compliant, that rocks, boulder, greenery is located on the sidewalk right away, which impedes foot traffic and those in a wheelchair. The right of way is exactly that, a right of way. I told the mayor months ago, he said it'd be taken care of, and it, as of yet, it has not. It's not the fault of the people who opened up the business. It's the contractor and the inspector. I don't know if you've been by there, but you're gonna need to address that. 88, federal law, not local law. Mr. Chairman, in numerous city council and utility board meetings, I've reported the numerous RVs, possibly squatters were setting up throughout the city. I'm asking you, how many have been issued permits by you folks? How many of them were billed for landfill and or water and sewer? I was billed by, excuse me, I was billed by former city clerk, now city councilman Jim Allworth in the past, when a runner of mine was visited by a friend in an RV that was parked alongside the property line. I was billed for another water, sewer, and landfill fee. If no one else was billed, then I want my money back with interest. Planning Commission, the city and its staff will stop the blatant discrimination. We need to stop enforcing ordinances under cover of law. Here's an RV parked in Mount Wheeler Polo Yard. They got a permit, fine. I've not seen one. Here's some RVs parked on Main Street. They have the licensing. I don't have a problem, but I've not received any information contrary. Mr. Chairman, the ingress egress on Avenue D and Highway 93, the concrete triangle needs to come out. The stop sign has been run over 4 to 5 times. The boulder next to the stop sign has been pushed onto the sidewalk, hampering passage, especially for those in a wheelchair. The curb and gutter should be put back 5 feet from the property line, not 11 feet. Again, we have rules and regulations, and we're not adhering to them. I've been told the city paid $16,000 for the curb along Van Camp's junkyard. I want to remind you folks, NRS forbids the city and assist in private business. Curb and gutter was not installed prior to paving in front of Jack Van Camp's lot across from the Prospector. The code is simple. When they're going to oil the road, you got to put in curb, gutter, and sidewalk. It's a commercial area. They're putting a chip seal in now. That needs to be taken care of. That stop sign's been run over at least 4 or 5 times. No ADA access. It's along the federal highway. You need to address that.
Last time, George.
Okay. That's a long time, George. Thank you.
I'm going to submit some of these comments, Mr. Chairman. I want some answers. It's been a long time coming.
Okay.
We need to resolve it.
Okay. Next, any more public comments?
Yeah.
Brad?
Let me, for the record, Brad Christensen. I'll comment to George's stuff, and maybe we can put this stuff to bed. On the corner of 10th and Altman, the Curaleaf, that sidewalk comes up, jogs over, and then jogs up again. Don't be deceived by, because there's a rock planter out there, the rock planter out there is actually in the right of way. The sidewalk that goes in front of the building, or actually on the east side of the building, that is the sidewalk. That is the sidewalk. That's where the property line's at. Okay, so that's where the egress goes, or I should say the ADA access or the walkways. It comes down 10th, jogs in, goes right in front of the building. And if you look up, you can look straight up to the road, and you can see where the property line's set, way back in, off of 10th. So that's what that needs to be. It is correct the way that it is. It may look, because it's not a straight line, it may look different, but it's not. Okay. As far as the pork chops you see on, let's see, that'll be, what is it, Avenue D? That was approved by the city engineer. It was approved by the NDOT. They're the ones that actually designed that. As far as the ADA access, there is ADA access on that corner. It is there. It does not go across because the ADA does not continue. If that was the case, where do you stop? There's nothing over there. once somebody builds on the other side of that, then they'll have to continue the ADA on that side. But it's not up to the owner, in this case, the owner of the Holiday Inn or the city to take and just make it a continuation, go all the way down, where do you, I mean, that's US 93, we'll end up in Canada somewhere.
Yeah, thank you
So,
for clarifying
Okay,
that.
so you can't, that's why I think